Did Amelia actually get a chance to look into where the Shadow Temple is? I don't know. My body feels achy and sore the next morning. Why? You just took like... You just slept like a whole day and then through the night again. Oh, maybe that would be actually why you're achy and sore. It shouldn't be because of the casting, though, is what I'm saying. He got plenty of rest for that. I groaned, but pushed past the pain. I haven't felt this sore since we first started traveling. We have a quick breakfast and clean up the campsite before resuming our travels. I continue to practice with Leanna and my teammates. Oh, are they all still practicing together? Okay. And I slowly seem to be getting a better grasp on multi-elemental casting. Each time I have to be careful with how much energy I use. My body feels fatigued after each battle, but I'm careful to make sure I don't reach the same level of fatigue as the first time I tried casting all of the elements. After another 3 days journey. See, the issue is, there's no apostrophe, so I didn't know that it was possessive upon first reading it. After another 3 days journey, it should be days, like, apostrophe after the S. The landscape changes from green trees to dry sand. The heat burns my skin. I can feel it radiating off of the sand. Part of me really wishes to be back north with the cold again. The sun only intensifies the dry heat, steaming up the desert sands. I let out a grateful breath as we near the city gates. 2 guards stand watch at the entrance. Their deep caramel skin contrasts with their white tunics. Contrasts. Yeah, contrasts with their white tunics. As we draw near, they watch us warily, acutely aware of our different garb, but they allow us to pass. Instead of the higher structures of Havengard, the buildings in Masia, I don't know, are broader with rounded domes on the top. The people wear simple, long tunics with elaborate jewels elaborate jewels decorate their necks. It seems surprisingly normal and even a bit familiar. When Amy mentioned Masia wasn't a part of Havengard, I expected to enter a fantastical city. Kara cranes her neck as we walk through the town, her eyes sparkling with excitement.
This is amazing! I can't believe I'm standing on Venean soil. Think of all the history that's hidden here.
I wish I could, but I know nothing.
Let's go find the shops.
She looks zag with surprise, right? Not inns, but shops?
You want a souvenir too?
No, we need to stock up on supplies.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that.
Correct. However, once we've acquired all we need to be prepared for the temple, we can then further explore the city.
Cool. I glance at Amelia. Although her voice remains cool, her cheeks are flushed and her gaze darts from structure to structure. She must be as excited as Kara is to be in the Venean city of Masia.
It is getting late in the day, though. We should hurry before the shops close.
Together, we wander the city until we spot the cloth tents of the marketplace. It reminds me a bit of Bizada. Or was it Bazada? I don't remember which one. I know I went back and forth because I felt like the characters went back and forth. I'm gonna say Bizada. Except that with the exception of the food stalls, all the shops are closed. Aw, man. Leanna shields her eyes as she squints at the sky.
That's strange. There's still daylight.
I mean, clearly, if you're having to shield your eyes. We continue to walk through, hoping to spot an open store, but the streets are eerily quiet and empty. We reach the main square and finally spot crowds of people bustling about. Many carry strings of lights, while others prepare long ribbons of hanging flowers. Oh, is it all closed for a festival or something? It looks like they're preparing for an event. I hear the loud cries from the food stalls.
Sweet date soup! Come have a taste and find your own sweet date for the festival.
I guess there's going to be a festival. Maybe that's why all the stores are closed. Kara grins.
Sounds like we'll have to spend the night here.
Oh no. The food vendor catches my eye and splits into a broad grin.
Are you ready to find your sweet date today?
Already have her, sir. Heck yeah, no thanks, I've already found one, yeah. I glance at Leanna and slip her hand in mine. I've already found her. She blushes but returns my smile, then gives my hand a little squeeze. What exactly is going on?
It's the celebration of the sun.
Oh, I love the sun! The sun?
Yes, this time of year is when it shines the brightest. Its ray shines happiness and fortune upon Terra.
That's good. What does that mean exactly?
The longest day signifies the beginning of the summer harvest. This celebration is to hope fortune favors us with a strong harvest.
Okay, fair enough. That sounds really fun. How does that get me a date? Don't personify the sun. Yeah, let's do. Where will the festival take place?
The town square will hold the contest, but all of Major will be decorated. Preparations are currently underway.
It's Maja. So like mage, but with an at the end of it. I was thinking either Meja or Meja. I just didn't know if it was a J or a J, you know? Like a J sound or a ZH sound. Good. Alright, well, thanks for the info. I turned back to the team. So we said that...
We know. We were standing right here.
It would seem inevitable that we must rest in Meja today.
Well, you said J!
And
Ah!
supply tomorrow. Perhaps we should search for an inn.
So here's the issue. Do I trust Amelia, who is not, like, from here, but whose voice actor... Actually, her voice actress is not reliable with pronunciations. Never mind, I'll go with Meja.
Good idea.
What was it? She was trying to say unprecedented. But what did she say? Unprecedented or something? I don't know, it was it was silly. Again, not that I'm perfect, but usually, at least when I make mistakes, either it's just because the flow of the words, you know, it happens, like it changes the end vowel or something, or it's because I generally don't know a word, but I can't really look them up because I'm recording. I do look up some words, but I try not to look up everything, you know? But like, if you're voice acting for something, one, if you are aware that you're not sure about how you're pronouncing a word, you should look it up. And two, if you mispronounce a word, someone should catch it and let you know, and then you re-record your line. Like, that's just how it should be. We continue through the city. The further in we travel, the more decorated the city becomes. And so, like, when I make mistakes in things, like in these videos when I'm recording, that's fine, because this is just kind of like a blind reaction. I don't put editing into it, and I'm certainly not, like, selling my videos. But in, like, a published game, where there is definitely, like, all of this is premeditated in a sense, right? Like, you have to gather all the lines and, you know, write the scripts and all that, not necessarily in that order, of course, and then you put it all together. And with that, a little bit more care should be taken. With the voice acting, you know, whether pronunciations or, like, the intonations are weird, things like that. With the script, as far as, like, you know, missed words, as those have happened a lot, or, you know, all the grammatical mistakes that happen, whether through spelling or punctuation, you know, possessives, things like that. And then I would say, like, maybe least of all is when the dialogue, like, what we hear, doesn't match up with what's read. Because, again, I can understand a little bit, like, last-minute script changes or things like that. But in that case... Again, I do think you should re-record the line or whatnot, or change the writing depending on which came first, but, you know. We continue through the city. The further in we travel, the more decorated the city becomes. I wonder how many times I read that sentence. I gaze appreciatively at the ribbons and flowers. Eventually, we find the inn and step inside. The lobby smells of cinnamon and... See, I don't know that word. And cardamom. Emphasized by the stale heat of the town. Like, no idea what that word is. The small breeze flowing through the wide open windows merely stirs the warm air through the building. Leanna speaks with the innkeeper and secures us rooms, then passes out keys. The rest of us look for seats. Instead of traditional chairs, push cushions circle the wooden tables. I mean, I clearly see traditional chairs, but alright. We gather around a table nearby and get settled. Kara offers to order us food and heads over to the bar. Before she reaches there, a strange man approaches Kara. Zack watches the man warily.
Sure is hot in here, isn't it?
Oh, look, it's a creepster. Kara's eyes are shining as she looks at the man. She smirks, clearly amused.
Is it? I didn't really notice.
It must just be you then.
Oh! I groan internally. Kara raises an eyebrow. I think she stifles a laugh. Zack's hands ball into fists, his gaze fixated on the scene before him.
It's important to stay hydrated, though. Here, let me buy you a drink.
You know, at least he's considerate. It is important to stay hydrated. Fact of the day. He steps closer and puts an arm around Kara, steering her towards the bar. Suddenly, Zack is back on his feet. As Kara carefully disengages herself from the guy, Zack strides over and shoves him away from Kara, causing him to topple over.
Keep your hands off of her.
The man looks at Zack in surprise, but even more surprisingly, Kara whirls on Zack.
What do you think you're doing?
He had his hands all over you. I'm protecting you from this creep.
Whoa, wait.
What makes you think I need protection?
So I'm not supposed to defend you?
Not if you're going to resort to violence right away.
Fine then. I'm sorry for caring when another man puts his hands on you. I'll be sure not to give a shit next time.
Oh, you made Zack real upset.
Oh, you do not get to turn this around on me.
The creepster's just on the ground, like, looking back and forth between them. Zack throws his hands up.
There's just no winning with you, is there?
Not when you keep making the wrong decisions.
Hey,
The two of them simultaneously yell at the man.
Shut up!
Shut up!
The man is taken aback, but takes that as his cue to leave. Kara and Zach stare at each other, tensions high. There's a palpable electricity between them.
I have the situation under control.
Their faces are an inch apart. Zach grabs Kara. His eyes smolder, but they linger on Kara's lips.
Didn't like seeing that guy's hands all over you.
Kara looks down at his hands and then back up at Zach's face.
You mean like how your hands are all over me now?
There's an air of challenge to her tone, but I think I catch the faint shadow of a smile, as if she's enjoying this. Zach's about to retort, but instead whirls around.
Whatever. I'm going to my room.
He starts to head upstairs, but Kara hurries and beats him to the first step.
No, I'm going to my room.
The two of them race up the stairs and disappear from view, seemingly forgetting about us. Leanna, Amelia, and I sit stunned. What did we just witness?
They seem pretty angry. Do you think they'll be okay? Maybe we should check on
Nah,
them.
I think they're just gonna have anger sex. Amy shakes her head.
That is unnecessary.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am quite certain that we do not wish to interrupt their coming copulation.
Yeah. Leanna sputters. Her eyes are wide.
Amelia! Why would you say that?
'Cause we both figured it.
It was quite obvious. The pheromones emitting from them was quite strong. That coupled with...
Ah! Don't say coupled!
Leanna squirms. How could Amy tell any of that? We can interrupt their coupling. I do not want to participate in this. Don't be jealous. We can do that too. I mean... Okay, that one's dumb. This one is also dumb, and like I wouldn't want to suggest that. It's perverted too, and rude. Don't be jealous. We can do that too. You know, like, this is the second best one. I think this one is the best, and just kind of moving along from it. I don't know. Things have taken a very weird turn, and I do not want to be a part of this conversation.
Although, perhaps the most obvious sign of their impending coitus was Zack firmly gripping Kara's buttocks as the two climbed up the stairs.
Leanna jumps to her feet.
Okay, that's enough of that. I need to go be productive, or something.
A small shudder shivers down her spine as she shakes away her thoughts. She quickly heads out of the inn. Amy smooths her skirt as she also gets to her feet.
There is merit in Liana's suggestion of productivity. I do believe Zack and Kara will be preoccupied for a while.
They certainly may be, yes. It's weird when you put it that way.
I, too, shall be productive. Or something.
Amelia confidently strides out of the inn, leaving me sitting alone at an empty table. Well, I don't want to just sit here alone. Who do I want to hang out with? Hang out with Zach, hang out with Kara. Why are those options? Why are those options? Let's look for Amelia first. I want to see if she's looking into the Shadow Temple stuff. I don't want to stay here alone. I race out of the inn and spot Amy's bright pigtails. Amy, wait up! She pauses, then looks at me.
Oh, hello.
So, what's the plan for today? She blinks.
I believe it was established that we would rest today and resupply tomorrow.
Yeah, I meant, what are you going to see now?
I see. My plan was to search for a library or museum. However, I have been unsuccessful in locating one which is open.
Locating anything that's open in this town seems a little hard right now.
Therefore, if something else piques my interest, I will then explore that further.
Good plan. Sounds like a good plan to me. Mind if I join you?
I do not mind.
Cool. We walk in silence as we take in the sights. People bustle about, holding bouquets of flowers or strings of lights as they prepare for the festival. Are you excited for the festival tonight, Amy? She nods.
Indeed, I am excited to learn more about this town's culture.
Yeah, that'll be cool. We walk a little further through the town when we stumble across a giant archway. People bustle in and out. From somewhere inside, I can see the tall head of what looks to be a giraffe. Oh! There are some signs scattered around the place with detailed pictures of animals. It looks like there's some sort of zoo over there. Amelia's eyes light up with interest.
This could prove to be most stimulating. Shall we attend?
Sure. Really? You want to go to the zoo? She tilts her head.
Is that so surprising?
I just figured you'd want to do something a little more scientific. Amelia blinks.
I do, indeed, have scientific interests. I am most interested in learning about the biology and ecosystems that exist within this place.
Okay. Of course she does. Alright then, should we get going? She nods and I follow her inside. At the entrance is a fenced-off area where children are taking turns riding some kind of large bird. They're big enough to wear saddles, and they come in different colors. Bronzes and browns, pinks and yellows, some black and silver. There's a line of children waiting to ride one. Is Amelia gonna get... I figured. I mean, not chocobobos, but chocobos. Is chocobobo a thing they say, maybe? I don't know. Let's look for something more exciting. Chocobobos! Let's ride one. Whoa, those are cool. Amy, let's get in line. Amelia blinks.
Do you mean to ride the Kanku?
Yes. Yeah, of course. Don't you want to? Amelia shakes her head.
Kankus were used as transportation long ago. That was when they were larger and able to carry heavy loads. They have been bred down over the years to become smaller companions. That is why you only see children riding them today. As such, it would not be able to carry you, seeing as your weight would be too immense.
Well, I mostly picked that because I wanted Amelia to ride one, so that's fine. Calling me fat? Bummer. Let me totally pull it off. She wouldn't get this at all as a joke, so I'll just say bummer. Aw, man, that would have been so much fun. Amelia blinks.
There are other creatures we could examine. Let us continue on.
We navigate our way further into the zoo. I'm curious to see what other animals there are here. If they're similar to what's back at home or completely different. Now, I was hoping one of the options there would have been for Amelia to ride one, like that she would have been light enough, but obviously it wasn't the case. So far, I'm not recognizing any of the creatures. Amy keeps rattling off facts about each creature whenever we visit a new exhibit. She tells me about a few lizards that can breathe embers, some jackalopes, and some kind of serpent with golden spikes on its head. We make our way to a large and open desert enclosure. I can see a few rocks and some barren trees inside. An elephant is in its own enclosure right next to it, reaching up high into a tree to pull down some fruit. But I'm more interested in the monkeys. They're small with fluffy orange and white fur, reminding me of dreamsicles. They blend in with the vibrant orange rocks and sand inside their enclosure. I'm not aware of what a dreamsicle is. Amy's face is blank as a sheet, but I can see warmth twinkling in her eyes.
These are desert monkeys.
Oh?
Yes, they have a distinctive call to warn their members if a predator approaches.
I see. Feed the monkeys, just watch. Picking one up sounds like a good idea! No. I mean, both of these, top and the bottom, are bad ideas. You know? Unless they specifically have a sign that says you can feed the monkeys and, like, they provide you with food, so you shouldn't. So, just watch. Cute animals are not really my thing. I'll just observe them from here. No, that's not the issue. It's just that those are bad both moves. You don't feed animals, and you don't just randomly pick one up. Unless that's, again, part of the exhibit, which they would explicitly tell you.
I will return in a moment. There is an option to provide them with nourishment. It would be most interesting to see their reaction to humans this way.
I wish I'd known that we were able to feed them. Then I would have picked the top option.
Would you like to participate as well?
Yes. No, I'm good. No! I'll have you know that this part is dumb. She nods and then disappears into the crowd, heading towards a vendor selling treats for the zoo animals. She returns a moment later with a bag of fruit. Like, why is it that sometimes with options I'm expected to be logical and, like, actually reason through things, and then other times I'm just supposed to guess that, like, hey, this is probably okay, right? I mean, like, at least at that point, give me a simple yes or no option, like, now that I know that it's okay to feed the animals, would you like to feed one? Yes. No. Doesn't have to be anything more than yes and no. In fact, it would probably be better to just be yes or no, so I know exactly what I'm choosing. The monkeys seem to really like Amy. They start crawling all over her, squeaking and reaching for the fruit in her hands. She holds her regular blank expression, but her gaze is warm, like when she's playing with the pongo.
Did you know that these creatures live in packs? They have a leader who they will bring food and shiny objects to.
Amelia seems content rattling off facts to me. Many of the monkeys seem to have their full attention on her. They let out tiny chirps as she feeds them. One seems rather intrigued by her hair because it hops onto her shoulder and sniffs at one of the bows. Her eyes light up.
They are also quite cute.
They are. Meanwhile, a nearby elephant eagerly sniffs about Amelia. It must be looking for treats. The trunk reaches toward her and reaches around her torso.
My apologies. I do not have any more treats.
Oh no. The elephant's trunk sways lower, near the pouch tied at her waist, but it misses its mark. Instead, it curls around the back of her skirt and pulls up. Oh no! Amelia gasps. Her face burns a slight pink. Shoo the elephant away, cover your eyes and she's fine. Shoo the elephant away, cover your eyes. I don't know if I want to shoo the elephant away. Maybe if I act casual. she won't be as embarrassed. In fact, I mean, like, it pulled up the back of her skirt anyway, which, even if we were behind her, she has a huge, like, I said buddy, I meant bloody, cloak around her, right? If it pulled up the front of her skirt, that would be a little bit different. But pulling up the back when I can't even see it, even if I'm, like, positioned properly, that doesn't matter, so she's fine. Amelia untangles the elephant's trunk from her skirt. Her face is a little red, but other than that, she doesn't seem to show any other signs of embarrassment. She smooths down her skirt and clears her throat, seemingly grappling for her composure.
That was quite the predicament. I will remember from now on the curiosity of elephants.
Yeah, probably. Just then, the elephant pulls up her skirt again. Really? Amelia's face tinges. I do like how tense she is in this picture, though. Amelia's face tinges red, and she quickly shoves the skirt down. She shuffles away from the elephant, which was probably a good idea by this point.
Seize this immediately! I possess no more food!
The trunk continues to reach around her. Amy gently pushes it away and huffs.
It is evident this creature is doing this on purpose.
Perverted elephant. I try not to chuckle. I don't think so, Amy. It's probably because you still smell of snacks even if you don't have them. Amelia gives me a look, then coughs into her hand.
I suppose that is a possible explanation.
So, do you want to look around some more? Amelia shakes her head.
I have learned quite a lot already.
Her monotone voice has a slight edge to it. I think she's had enough interaction for the day and is looking for some peace and quiet. Alright, that's cool. I think I might stick around a little longer. She nods and heads towards the exit and back to town. I wander around the zoo some more, enjoying the wide variety of animals, although this time I'm careful to keep my distance with some of the more rambunctious types. Eventually, I leave the zoo and return back to town. Find Leanna. I wander around the city, exploring. It looks interesting being in varying stages of decoration. As I pass around the corner, I catch a glimpse of long blonde hair out of the corner of my eye. Quickening my steps, I race to catch up. Leanna! She freezes, then turns around. A wide smile lights her face when she sees me.
Hey!
Where are you headed?
I was thinking of going back to the marketplace.
Oh? Our shop's open now? Really? You're going to try to convince someone to open their shop? She laughs.
That sounds like a lot of work and not a lot of fun. I thought it would be nice to try some of the local cuisine.
That's fair.
Anyway, would you like to join me?
Yes! Yeah, I love trying new food. Definitely. It sounds delicious. We follow the tempting scent of spices back into the marketplace. We can hear the food vendors even before we see them as the hum of their voices guides our way. There are a variety of stalls selling all sorts of sweet and savory food. Roast meats turn on a spit and are shoved onto pocket breads. Pistachios and honey wrapped... What? Pistachios and honey wrapped in thin pastry makes my mouth water. Okay. People gather by the different stalls, picking out foods and haggling prices. I can feel the buzz and excitement for the festival.
Oh, look!
Leanna points to something that looks like stew. Is that stew?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
It does. She looks up at the food vendor.
Excuse me, what kind of stew is this?
He answers proudly.
The best lamb's brain stew in Medja.
Leanna's face twists into horror.
Lamb's brain?
Yes, a rare delicacy. Care for a bowl?
Come on, Leanna, try it. She hurriedly shakes her head,
No, thank you.
then hustles away from the stew.
Let's try somewhere else instead.
Okay, no stew, that's fine. That looks good, though. Whatever, good idea. Even though I didn't eat it, that stew leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, that didn't sound so appetizing. Leanna shudders. I've never had brain, so I don't know. I mean, it probably doesn't taste good, but maybe if properly spiced? I don't know. We continue browsing until we reach a stall partially hidden in the corner of the marketplace. A couple of people stand curiously in front of the stall. Like, the thing is, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to trying brain, if properly cooked and whatnot. I don't know how you cook brain. But yeah, as I crane my neck for a better look, all I can make out is a lot of dough.
Come try my newest culinary masterpiece. You won't find anything like it in Medja because it's a first in all of Isaria.
Why do you look kind of evil, Alberto? Why? What are you making?
It's revolutionary. A combination of the old and the new. I take the traditional Medja bread,
Are we making pizza? He pulls out what looks like a thin pita.
then add a layer of crushed tomatoes and the cheese imported from Havengard. Afterwards, I bake it in the hot stone.
He points to his oven.
to present to you this.
From the oven, he pulls forth a cheesy bread different to the one he placed in there. Oh, it's a pizza.
A pizza? What a strange word. Not from any language I am familiar with. And yet, somehow, it perfectly describes my masterpiece.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? The man's eyes widen.
That is brilliant. Yes, henceforth, it is called a pizza!
Leanna looks at me curiously.
How did you know what that was?
We have something like that at home, too. You can put different meats or veggies on top, too. The man's eyes grow so big, I think they're about to pop out of his head.
What an ingenious idea! Adding more ingredients on top. Like toppings. Yes, that's what they'll be called. Toppings!
I just made this man rich. Yep, that's exactly what they're called.
So you could put meat on top of the pizza.
Yeah. Her face lights up.
That sounds like my kind of pizza. It just wouldn't feel right without the taste of meat in my mouth.
I blink at her. She freezes, realizing what she just said, and her face reddens.
I mean, I just really like to eat meat. No, wait. I mean, don't discriminate against types of meat, you know. Like sausages. No! Why did I give that example?
I don't know, Leanna. Maybe you should stop trying. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, then tries again.
I meant to say I'd like to add meat onto my pizza.
Let's just pretend that didn't happen. A meat lover, eh? I'll leave all the meat eating to you. I get what she was trying to say. I mean, yes. But also... But yeah. But maybe... But I know yes. But... I get what she's trying to say. That's cool. It's a popular choice for pizza. Leanna nods.
So, what sort of toppings would you put on my pizza?
Of course, pineapple's an option. It has to be an option. Pepperoni. Pepperoni's probably one of the more traditional toppings, although nowadays we can put all kinds of different meats on there.
Any kind of meat sounds like it'll be good.
She blushes again.
I think I'm done using that word for a lifetime.
Fair enough.
Sounds like a great idea. Let's give it a try.
The man fumbles around his stall, searching for the ingredients I suggested. We wait patiently as he preps the pizza and slices it onto his hot stone. Or slides, there we go. Once the pizza is baked, he carefully pulls it out, releasing the delicious perfume of cheese and dough into the air. He cuts us each a slice and plates it for us.
Dig in.
Leanna moves lightning fast as she takes a bite of her pizza, then yelps softly. Carefully, she chews and swallows, and her eyes light up in delight.
This is amazing!
She gobbles the rest down.
I could eat that entire pizza on my own.
I definitely have before.
The pepperoni pairs very nicely with the cheese. What an excellent suggestion.
You're welcome, Alberto. We finish off our pizzas, then continue browsing the stalls of the marketplace. There are a few more foods which seem almost familiar to me too, but they end up still being different. Leanna slips her hand in mine as we continue to browse. I watch a few more people scurry by, carrying more decorations. So, the festival that's happening today. She looks at me, her eyes sparkling.
It looks exciting, doesn't it? I'm really curious to see what it's like. It seems like it'll be different than the ones in Havengard.
Would you like to check it out together once it starts? She squeezes my hand, a wide smile on her face.
I'd love to.
Good. Awesome. I give her a peck on the cheek. Once we've tried everything we want to try, I decide to head out while Leanna returns to the pizza stand. Let me just quick save here real quick. Okay. We promised to meet up at the inn later today and go to the festival. Now, I quick saved because I want to see what the other two will be, but in my playthrough canon, I'm planning on not visiting them. But the fact that we just know that they're going up to Bang, why does this still give me the option? Like, I'm really curious to see what it would say if I selected them. So let's check on Zach first. I don't know why my mind is even considering about hanging out with them right now. Okay. I wander around town for a while, watching as it slowly transforms from... Oh, so is it just skipping that? Let's see. Let's just quick load real quick. Okay, I'm ready to call it a day. Okay, yeah, so all it does was be like, you idiot, you know. Okay, fair enough. I wander around the town for a while, watching as it slowly transforms from quiet, plain storefronts to a city decked out in streams of golden ribbon and golden crystal lights. I stretch my arms over my head and yawn. The sun is starting to go down. The sky is streaked in shimmering scarlets and rosy pinks. I better head back. Cue outro, go!